Welcome to a Locked On Titans POSTCAST. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, it got ugly out there. A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles crushed the Titans 35-10 as the injuries just become too much to overcome for the Titans. Let's talk about everything that took place out there in today's POSTCAST. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Titans fans, it is a Week 13 POSTCAST. The Tennessee Titans lose 35-10 in an ugly one. Guys, feel free, jump in the chat, jump in the comments. Let's just kind of talk this thing through as a family, okay? It was rough out there. First and foremost, before we dive into it, thank you guys for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day, Monday through Friday, free Tennessee Titans content all year long on all platforms, including the Locked On Titans YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you do stream as well. But it was a disgusting day, guys. There's no way around it. Now, early, yeah, the Eagles carved up the Titans on the first drive, but the Titans defense gets a stop on the second drive. The Titans find a way to score at 7-7. Burks makes an amazing catch in the end zone, and that's about when things started to unravel. Treylon Burks, his first career receiving touchdown, a beautiful physical catch in the end zone, and in reality, he got knocked out cold. Now, there was a flag thrown, but how is that not an ejection? I saw an ejection last week, or earlier this week, that wasn't as bad as that one. So that was pretty nuts, quite frankly, on Epps, that he wasn't ejected for the hit. But either way, great catch by Treylon Burks. But once Burks goes out, the Titans simply didn't have enough. Number one, the offensive line is terrible, and there was no time to make throws. But even if there was time to make throws, if Tannehill had time to make throws, there wasn't anyone open, because now you got NWI, Robert Woods, and C.J. Board out there. Now, I'll take C.J. Board over Cody Hollister who missed this game. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, that is what? The worst wide receivers in the league? So without Burks, the Titans just didn't have any semblance of offense. The offensive line, absolutely miserable. What's Derrick Henry supposed to do with this blocking? I mean, we love D. Henber around these parts, but D. Henber might be canceled with this offensive line. It don't matter what month it is. This offensive line can't block. So that's an issue. So without Burks, here's the problem. Robert Woods can be a chain mover. He can basically be what Austin Hooper is at wide receiver. Yeah, he's not explosive. Yeah, he's not winning in one-on-one, all that. But he can sit down in zones, move the chains on quick throws, things like that. But when you ask Robert Woods to be the number one wide receiver on the field, when you take Nick Westbrook-Akina from a third option, a fourth option outside of the two top wide receivers in Hooper, and you make NWI a third option, well, that's not going to go well for you either. At one point, Chigakonkwo was playing slot wide receiver. I thought it was one of the smartest things they did all day. Might as well get somebody with some explosiveness out there. So the wide receiver depth for the Titans, exposed. Then the offensive line, the missed picks at offensive tackle, exposed the depth on the offensive line, the quality of the offensive line play. Tannehill tried to run the ball. I mean, credit to Ryan Tannehill on an injured ankle. He tried to take what they were giving him and run, but it's just not enough. It's not enough. So it's unfortunate, but the offense without Treylon Burks just can't do anything. And they need that number one option, that number one receiver in this offense, or it can't operate. It just can't operate. So that number one wide receiver was on the other side of the field as well. And we got to talk about the Titans defense, what happened out there, and the reality that is A.J. Brown, who ripped our souls out, threw them on the ground. Before we get into it, though, do just want to let you guys know about Total Wine and More. This holiday, find what you love at Total Wine and More. With so many great bottles to choose from, it's easy to find a new favorite single barrel bourbon or the perfect gifts for everyone on your list, for everybody in your family, all your friends who are all legal drinking age, of course. You're going to find something special for the lowest price possible at Total Wine and More. Curbside pickup and delivery are available in most areas. TotalWineandMore.com to learn more. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21. Also, before we get into defense, I want to tell you guys about my defense for my home, and that's SimpliSafe. I love SimpliSafe. They have a bunch of wonderful technology, indoor, outdoor cameras, motion sensors, break glass sensors, door entry sensors. You can control everything in your home from an app on your phone or a touchpad keypad in your house. They have panic buttons you can install in different rooms. I mean, everything is really customizable and really easy to use. Plus, they pair all that fast protect technology with 24/7 professional monitoring agents, so you know that you are covered at all times. It's why SimpliSafe was named Best Home Security System of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report for a third year in a row. Don't miss your chance to save big on my favorite security system. Get 40% off any new system at simplisafe.com/LockedOnNFL today. That's SimpliSafe with an I, simplisafe.com/LockedOnNFL. There is no safe like SimpliSafe. We're down bad, Titans fans. We are down bad. I got to tell you, though, I got to do this before we talk about the defense and some of the other things that stood out to me. At the end of the day, man, I thought the Titans would lose these games. I picked them to lose these games a couple weeks ago when we looked at the remaining schedule after the Green Bay game. Yeah, we were all hype after the Green Bay game. It was fun, blah, blah, blah. If this team plays perfect football, they can win a Super Bowl. But reality struck. Reality came back for us the last 2 weeks. The Titans aren't a bad team. The Titans aren't a bad team at all. They aren't. But they aren't a great team either. They aren't. They aren't a Super Bowl contender. If they do contender, pretender, they're a pretender. But I think we all knew that in our hearts, right? I had been saying that since AJ was traded. That'd been my motto all year up until that Green Bay game. I was all hype on a Thursday night, blah, 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 blah. But this was the reality all along. The Titans are a good team. They don't have the talent on the roster or the offensive coaching to be a great team. And then you add in the injuries that have rendered the defense pass rushless, to make up a word on spot. It's too much to overcome. I mean, on defense, no Danico Autry. Obviously, no Harold Landry. With Danico, the Titans have been able to survive, even without Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree actually played okay in this game. But just a healthy Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry out there, then the Titans could get by. But without Autry, and there's no pass rush, you put all that pressure on the secondary. Kristian Fulton gets hurt. David Long gets hurt. You got Trey Avery and Roger McCreary as your number one, number two cornerback. And of course, they're going to lose battles on the outside to A.J. Brown. Of course they are. You know, they're two rookies. One's an undrafted free agent. A.J. Brown got paid a lot of money to win that battle every single time, and he did. And he did. So, do I think that the Titans healthy beat the Eagles? No, I don't, guys. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I don't think so. Do they keep it close? Yeah, and it was close early until Burks got hurt. So I think the Titans probably lose this game 24-17 if they're, healthy, 24-20. But when they're not, and the Eagles had injuries too, and it still turned out to be what it was. So I think the reality here is the Titans have weaknesses. They don't have enough wide receiver depth, talented wide receiver depth. They don't have a good offensive line. They don't have good cornerbacks. They traded away A.J. Brown. All of that came back to get them in this game. It's just what it is. And I mean, I do have to mention here, I mentioned the injuries when Burks and Fulton and Long go out, but man, the referees were awful in this game too. If you guys have been listening to the show for any length of time, I don't come on here and talk about the officials. I don't blame officials. It's not what I do. You got to look at the team. The officials sucked in this game, but they weren't the entire reason the Titans lost. They're far down on my list of things that I want to blame at. You control what you can control. Okay? And you can't control the refs. All you can control is what you do. So there are bigger issues for the Titans than referees. And I like to focus on the football. But having said that, the refs were awful in this game. My God, man, they were so bad. Some of those, the roughing the passer on Mario Edwards, the DPI on Trey Avery, the guy not getting ejected for the Burks hit. I mean, and even Andrew Adams blatantly tried to twist A.J. Brown's ankle after a play right in front of a ref, and the ref didn't throw a flag at all and did nothing. So if I was a Philly fan, I'd probably be pissed off about the refs too. But as a Titans fan, you're more than happy to be pissed off about the refs in this one. Although, again, I'm not going to blame the refs at the top of the list of things that went bad. But something that I'm going to hit on, and this is, the postcast, the instant reaction, all that, but something that I'm going to hit on. Yeah, I agree with whoever this is. Boom. And the Eagles the Eagles tried to shoot themselves in the foot all day. They had so many false start penalties, offensive, organizational penalties, blah, blah, blah. And it's still 2nd and 15, whatever. We're just going to throw the ball over the Titans and not worry about it. So either way, the Eagles look, guys, we just have to accept the Eagles are a much better football team than the Titans. They have a much more talented roster than the Titans. And when you get drubbed like this, it's a combination of factors coming together. A better team, a better roster, your own injuries, your own issues, the penalties. It's a lot of different things. But the Titans are a good team. They're not it's funny, the Titans are, if you guys ever listen to Around the NFL, the Andy Dalton line for quarterbacks. You got Andy Dalton. When you rank the quarterbacks, you got Andy Dalton. If your quarterback is worse than Andy Dalton, you need a new quarterback. If your quarterback is better than Andy Dalton, you're probably good. The Titans are that team now in the NFL. If the Titans beat you, you're probably not a good team. If the Titans lose to you, if you beat the Titans, you're probably a good team because the Titans are an easy team to beat. So if you beat them, you're probably good. And the Titans are a good team, so beating them isn't easy, and bad teams can't do it. The Titans are the midline. The Titans are the midline for good teams in the NFL. Higher, you're a really good team. Lower, you're a bad team. And that's where the Titans are this year. And if we're all honest with each other, since the moment that AJ was traded, we knew that was the reality of this season. So we got high off the Green Bay win, and then reality came back quickly. And to be honest with you guys, this is what I expected. So I don't feel all doom and gloom like a lot of people, but the reality is this is one of the worst days of recent memory if you're a Titans fan, because a lot of the issues that have hurt this team all kind of came together today. So anyways, moving forward, I'm going to have another full-length 30-minute recap up tonight for you guys. I'm going to have a conversation about some of those issues piling up for the Titans and recent moves. We're going to talk about what Philly was able to do on defense, the Titans' offensive scheme, all that. And then, of course, tighten up and tighten down to go over all the good and bad performances. But that's going to do it for today's postcast. And I will see you guys later tonight.